I'm Kat, an independent midwife from Wales. Welcome to the Mother of All podcasts, where nothing is off the table of discussion. If it leaks, cries, swears, screams, goes up, but doesn't stay up, we're talking about it. It's time to get raw and real. Your no BS guide to pregnancy, preconception, birth, adolescence, wet dreams, wet in the bed, coming home pissed. Who knows? Whatever. We're just going to talk about it. Life in parenting doesn't come with a manual. Well, not a decent one anyway. So let's just create a podcast. Welcome to the Mother of All podcasts. I don't even know where that comes from.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
That's not even in it.
That's good.
Welcome back to Mother of All podcasts. Introduce yourself again, even though everyone knows you because you've been on 3 times and everyone nags for you to come back again.
My name's Greg. I'm a nutritionist but from Dublin, based out of Cardiff.
Cardiff. Today we are talking about fat jabs.
Fat jabs.
What's the correct word for them?
GLP-1 agonists. There you go.
Fat jabs. I want to talk about them because I'm kind of 50-50 about whether I agree with them, but I do in certain contexts. Not when it suits me. But I think they're overused in the wrong way. What's your thoughts?
I didn't start looking into fat jabs until about 2 years ago, when they really started to make waves. And I just wanted to kind of get through the confusion about them.
Yeah.
So luckily, actually, my boss told me to write up like a literature review on them. So I did it. And like the more you look through the research, the more you kind of realize, and I haven't looked at the research in about 6 months, in fairness, with all the new ones that are coming out. But when you look at the research on it, there's people are always like, oh, they're new. We don't really know what they're doing. It's like they've been around for 20 years. In different variations. Yeah, lorazepatide was the first one, was an oral tablet that you took. It just didn't...
Specifically for weight loss?
For type 2 diabetes, they were initially brought out for because they realised they regulated blood sugar really, really well. And obviously then the knock-on effect of appetite control from that was why they realised just for obesity in of itself. And have they been licensed to use for weight loss for that long? Yeah. Must be nearly 20 years.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I literally thought it was a new fad.
Yeah, so like a lot of people are obviously looking at all the side effects that are coming out and all the headlines that you see in regards to GLP-1 agonists, but they've been out for so long now that we know the safety profile.
Yeah.
And they're only getting better and safer. So like my opinion on them is not that everyone should just take them, but I think as a tool, they give people freedom again. So if you're someone who...
I feel like a right twat now.
No, but if you feel like you're overweight and you've tried it all and you can't regulate your appetite, if you use them appropriately, and we can talk about what I think appropriately is, then you can regain control of your life with the use of them. Now, the problem then is, which I'm sure we'll touch on at some stage, is what happens at the end. So what happens when you stop taking GLP-1 agonists, which is a fear for a lot of people. And the thing is, we don't really know. So when you...
So can someone be on them for life?
Yeah, I have a feeling how it's going to work, because when you look at the research of people who use these drugs or who lose weight naturally, if they lose 20, 30% of their body weight, the majority of that population will put the weight back on again at the end. And it's the same for both groups. So it's the same whether you use the drug or you didn't use the drug.
Yeah.
So we still don't really know, like, because if you think like hormones, right? If you give a boy a bunch of testosterone, eventually his testosterone receptor will downregulate.
Yeah.
Right? We don't know if that happens with GLP-1 receptors, last time I checked. So we don't know if you just come off them, you're going to be really hungry because you lost 30% of your body weight, like you would if you did it the other way. But is it actually affected the drugs that makes you more hungry, or is it just because now you're much slimmer?
Wow.
That's the difficulty, I think, that they're going to try and piece out over the next while. So like then you'll have to figure out, does someone just need to be on a low maintenance dose of GLP-1?
So change the dosage.
Forever. Yeah.
That resonates with me. That makes more sense to me. Like I don't disagree with them. I used to, point blank, because I know what the drug is and what it's meant to be used for. But, you know, I've got friends who've tried every single thing, and I've watched them try everything, and they're afraid of dying young because of obesity. I think like you said, it gives you freedom again, and it gives you, a purpose and something to look towards. But my question was, what the fuck's going to happen when they can't take them forever? But
so
you fix the problem.
But this is where I talk about taking them appropriately. We can talk about dosages and stuff like that. If you take them appropriately, you can use it as a blank slate. Because, like, some people, when you look at people's, like, even genetic profiles towards overeating, some people are just so predisposed to be overweight because they have all this dysregulation in fat, like, even fat sensitivity in their tongue.
Utero.
In utero, but even if you go like genetically back generationally, like people have like these like genetic makeups where like they're so hard for them to control their appetite. So then it's a lifetime endeavor just to maintain any remnants of being lean.
And is that a physical thing?
It can be both. So like with some of them, they just don't get the physical feedback to the brain to indicate that they're full. So, and like even there's like one particular gene that like actually predisposes us not to feel the effects of natural GLP-1. So when we eat food, we'll create some GLP-1 ourselves. Like fiber, protein does it, eating slowly does it, bitter vegetables does it. But there's some people who just don't get that feeling. So their ability to be able to maintain their body weight is really hard.
See, I don't get full. And I swear to God, that's why I ended up bulimic all those years ago, because I just would eat and eat and eat and eat because I literally never feel full. I wonder. I'm just using it as an excuse for my overeating.
But people have lower BMRs naturally. Some people, or if you have small men will fit into that category as well. Their ability to maintain their weight without doing excessive amounts of activity or eating really limited food all the time, it's difficult. Not impossible, but it's just difficult.
That's like, do you think? Because I'm not the minority that disagrees with this jab, and it's not that I disagree with it. I just think it's overused in certain circumstances.
Probably.
So people who find it really hard to lose weight and they've managed to do so without the jabs, that's what we said, wasn't it? I probably fit into that category. That's why I'm so opinionated on it. So I'm being a bit of a twat. When do you think it's safe to use? Like you said, when it gives them back freedom. But there's a generation out there that just take it because they're going on holiday in 6 weeks and they want to lose weight really quickly.
Yeah.
Like, that's not good.
Well, the safety profile of them is really good for the most part. Like,
but who's giving them these jabs?
You can just get them online, can't you?
It's wild.
It's like... it's not hard to get pure versions of them online for fractions of the price that you'll pay a doctor. So I understand why people just go and get them online. Obviously, then you got to be aware of like dosages and all that kind of like stuff that goes along with them. But the safety profile of them is pretty good. Like you've obviously got all the acute stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like sickness. Or like feeling sick. Some people puke. Some people get diarrhea. Some people like predominantly you'll get constipation because it slows down gastric emptying, which makes you feel fuller for longer.
Yeah.
So you'll get those acute side effects. Then you start to see some of the more long-lasting, damaging side effects that come with it, like gallstones, pancreatitis.
Jesus Christ.
And gastroparesis. They're in about 0.5 to 1% of the population who uses them long term at higher dosages.
What's classed as long term? Because we don't know.
Over 2 years, I think.
Wow.
So a lot of the research is over 18 months, as far as I remember, is what they follow them. Somewhere between a year and 2 years that they follow them for.
That's high risk. Like that's
1%.
Not the percentage. What the risks are.
But like
what the side effects are.
But if you look at the like. Could it just be that some of those... Now, the gastroparesis, the pancreas issues may be really drug-related. The gallstones and stuff could cause those issues. And that could just be associated with the massive amount of fat loss in that time.
Yeah.
So if 1% gets one of those things with really high dose for really long periods of time, what's the chances of that occurring in general population who use relatively lower dose for short periods of time? We don't know. We don't know. But like in terms of like its safety profile, like for the most part, it's good. What we're seeing is like you see it now. So we're seeing an increase in pancreatic issues in the UK based off Mounjaro. It's like we fucking knew that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So like the news is just catching up with that now. So now the news is making this huge deal.
Because it's topical.
Because it's topical.
Yeah.
But you roll out a drug to millions of people worldwide, like when we got the COVID jab.
Yeah.
You roll out, people will get sick from it. And you'll hear freak stories. But for the most part, it doesn't seem to be too much of an issue. One of the other side effects that you do see is increased heart rate, which is, and it's not dramatic, it's like 2 to 3 beats a minute. But there's like...
Over time, though.
Over time could be an issue, but but if you're 50 pounds overweight, losing 50 pounds is way more important.
Of course.
Because when you look at like the blood pressure improvements, the cardiovascular improvements, the fatty liver, all those things just massively improve with the use of the drug.
So if you use the drug and you lose all the weight and you come off the drug, because we don't know how long people can stay on it yet, don't all those symptoms come back, like fatty liver?
If you overeat again, yeah. But like, so my...
So I don't see it as... So people I agree with it for longevity of life. So if it's going to give you your life back and you'll live longer, I agree with it for that. But I still can't get my head around the fact that it's just a short-term fix, because we don't know if you can stay on it forever.
But we all use short-term fixes for fat loss. I'm not saying this is the right short-term fix to use.
It's just a conversation.
But we all use it. We all use short-term fixes.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm bothered by it.
We all use crash dieting.
Yeah.
It's because you think it's cheating to a certain extent, and that's fine because you put in all the work. The work. It is work. Why am I putting in inverted commas? You put in the work to lose the weight. So you look at it in other circumstances as like it's like a cheat code. So like when we had to lose weight 6 weeks before holiday when we were 21, we just had to starve ourselves. We just had to starve ourselves.
Add another line of speed.
Whatever got you there. And so now they have this trick that they can use that just crushes appetite if you take it in high doses. So that's just not a problem anymore. Like I mentioned, and the people who seem to regulate their appetite really well naturally and stay lean will often turn around and say, I don't agree with those drugs.
Yeah.
Because now people who can't regulate their appetite, who aren't as tough as they are, can now achieve the same body composition they have.
Says more about us, really, doesn't it?
I don't know. I just think that's some of the people. I don't think it's all of them that don't agree with it. Like, because there is side effects. Like, it's important to recognise that this is.
Talk to me. What are they? Well, we spoke about some of them.
They're the dominant ones. So like, and they're relatively serious. Like, you're seeing some stuff which doesn't make sense to me mechanistically. Like, there was a couple of cases in the UK of kidney failure from the use of it. But that doesn't make sense to me mechanistically. GLP-1 receptors are on almost every organ in the body. But like, if you control for blood sugar, if you control for blood pressure, which the drugs are quite good at doing, and cardiovascular, kidney health normally improves.
Yeah, because it's because of your other organs.
So like, you are seeing some freak cases out there.
But you would in any drug.
I think so.
Like, I could sit here and be like, oh my God, but you would. Like, you open a paracetamol box and it comes with a list of, if you take this, the risks are, and the list is horrendous.
Liver damage, gut bleeding.
It is, and it's because maybe one person out of 1 million has had that, so it has to go down as a risk. And it doesn't normally bother me when I'm like, oh, that's just bullshit anyway.
And I do agree with, like, there's an element of missing out on, and this is going more philosophical, there's an element of missing out on the growth that comes with genuine dieting. I get, and I do genuinely, I agree with that, because if you purposefully like grind every day, it, like, I hate the phrase, but like, in friction comes growth. It's such a loser thing to say.
You sound like a right twat.
Yeah,
but it's
true. Like, in tough times, we become tougher and we learn about ourselves and all that kind of cool stuff. But if I was 60 pounds overweight and I was really struggling to lose body fat and I was trying everything and I just couldn't regulate, I'd use it.
I mean, let's be honest, you've known me for years. I probably would as well, but not before trying everything first.
Yeah. So my fear is people don't use it as a learning tool when they do use the drug. So it gives you a clean slate to actually create new habits.
Yes.
Because it turns the noise off. So like, all the people, that's like one of the biggest things you hear from people is like, I just don't, like,
I don't feel hungry.
The urge.
Food psychology, see, that's why I can't get my head around it. So like, if, say, for someone's going for bariatric surgery, weight loss surgery, gastric bands, whatever, within that, you should be seen by like a doctor, because you're not forming good habits with your head. So food is in the head. I genuinely believe mental part of it plays such a big thing. And if it's turning the noise off, you stop taking it, the noise will come back tenfold. That's why.
That's why you have to create new habitual change while you use it. So like, if you're eating 3,000 calories of McDonald's every single day, and you take the drug and it allows you to eat 1,500 calories of McDonald's every day, inevitably once you come off the drug, you'll put the weight back on. But you haven't created a new habitual change. It gives you a blank slate to go and be whoever you want to be nutritionally, because you don't have that crazy physiological or psychological urge to eat hyperpalatable food anymore. So like you can create your breakfast, lunch and dinner every day. You can skip a meal if you need to skip a meal. You can do all that stuff and become the person that you've always tried to be in regards to the food side of things. So it does give people a really cool break in psychology, I would say.
How does it affect your muscle mass?
It doesn't. So the drug itself doesn't.
No, but the weight loss does.
Yeah, so dramatic weight loss without adequate protein intake, without enough weight-bearing exercise, you'll lose a bunch of muscle. It's no different from if people just ate like really high carb and fat.
Yeah, or fasted. And didn't train.
Yeah, they'll lose the exact same amount of muscle because they've done that side of the research where they gave people resistance training and a higher protein diet and they didn't lose any muscle. So
on the jab,
yeah.
Wow.
So like it's not a prerequisite that you lose muscle mass. It's just that I would, and I don't know how doctors actually work this. I've never been around a doctor who give these, but like there should be really structured advice on the side of things. So I think like how we create our life based off these drugs is going to be really important, and people need support with that.
Well, they're not going anywhere, are they? Like I thought they were two.
Yeah, what is there?
I thought there was Ozempic
drugs
and Mounjaro. I thought they were the only two, and I thought it was literally like 2-3 years old.
Yeah.
So they're not going anywhere.
No, there's 300 drugs currently going through trial at the moment. Well, they're billion dollar drugs. So like the most recent one is in phase 2. It's called retatrutide. They used to always start. They started with one mechanism.
Yeah.
Then they start to pile mechanisms, like mechanisms of action is what I mean. So like different things that these drugs do to help regulate your appetite. They're just putting mechanisms on each one.
So what's the latest one? What's the changes in it?
It's called a triple agonist now. So it hits 3 different mechanisms. So the first one was a GLP-1 agonist. GLP-1, at a very basic level, suppresses appetite, but also gives us like pro-insulin. So it means that like when we eat food, our blood sugar never really increases.
So that's why it was used for type 2 diabetes. Yeah, okay.
Then they added a GIP. Can't remember what GIP stands for. Anyway, it's another incretin that we release in our stomach in response to food, which also suppresses appetite. And they added a glucagon antagonist. Now, the mechanism as to why that works is not really clear, because glucagon liberates stored glucose. So that realistically shouldn't do anything with appetite, but it does seem to increase metabolic rate a little bit. So like you'll burn an extra 150 calories-ish a day.
Wow. And
just by taking it.
So...
And over a year that adds up.
I just can't get my head around the fact that it's... You stop it and everything goes back. That's what it is. That's why I'm stuck on it, because it sounds like a quick fix, even though it's meant to help people live longer.
But it's the exact same as dieting.
I know.
The percentages are the same, really, as the amount of people who put the weight back on. Like, the percentages are wild. And someone correct me on this, but it's almost 80% of the people who lose dramatic amounts of weight put the weight back on.
Really?
Anyway, yeah. Or they'll put on so if they lose 10% of their body weight within 10 years, they put 80% of that weight back on. It's a statistic like that. It's wildly high anyway.
Why? Because if they go back to old eating habits and less exercise, or just genetically with age and stuff?
Mostly, well, the problem is if you put on a significant amount of body weight at any stage in your life, so if you went from 150 pounds to 200 pounds, when you go back to 150, your metabolism, well, we don't know, but definitely in the first few years it doesn't, never goes back to where it was before. So your metabolism is always a little bit lower than it was the first time you were there. So like I remember someone giving advice, like the best advice to not put on weight is to not get fat in the first place.
I know.
Terrible advice, obviously, but...
can you imagine saying that to a fat person who's tried? You
can say it to lean people.
Yeah.
Like, don't get fat. Like, it's a really bad idea.
I say to my girls, because they're tiny, but I'm like, you don't do weights. You're skinny fat. Like, you're tiny, but where's the muscle? Where's the strength? But it's because of the environment, like skating and that. You just do anything to be...
slim.
Yeah, it's not healthy. So what you're saying is, if you had clients, how long would you... So they started with you and they're on a nutrition plan and supplements and things like that, and they you can't tell if they're lying or not. That's the only thing. And they're like, I'm sticking to it, Greg, and I'm not losing any weight or whatever. Would you advise them to try the jab?
I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
I know, so I've never advised anyone to use a GLP-1 agonist. If anyone ever asks me about it,
what do you say?
I just tell them what the statistics
information.
are. Yeah, and then it's up to them. And the only thing I will help people with is dosages.
That's what worries me. It's like if they're buying it off the internet, how do you know what the right dose is?
Well, you just have to look it up online. So, like, if you look at...
It's a bit rogue, isn't it?
Retatrutide, like, the studies they've done are on 2, 4, 8, and 12 milligrams. So, like, when you deal with people and they're like, I just want the noise switched off, or I just want to be a little bit less hungry. It's like, right, lowest effective dose is what you try and chase with these drugs. So it's like, okay.
For that reason, okay.
Try 0.5 milligram a week. How do you feel? It's like, I don't feel anything. Okay, try 1 milligram a week. How do you feel? A little bit. 1.5 milligrams. Oh, do you know what? This switches off the noise. It allows me to make better choices.
So stick with that.
Stay there. So then you're like, because you look at like a lot of the side effects come with like the extreme ends of that. So like I've played around with retatrutide in the past, and I've done up to 3 milligram a week. And I did get some of the like refluxy symptoms, and
what about
like
gut?
after you eat, fine actually,
Yeah.
didn't have any issues with that. But I couldn't imagine what it would be like on 12 milligrams a week.
Wow.
Like that's such like, I mean, that would, now it's different when you're 100 pounds overweight and you're type 2 diabetic, because your appetite is so dysregulated that you might actually need those higher dosages to help regulate it. But I just don't like the way the staggered approach is now with doctors. So it's like, you've done 2.5 milligrams, now you're going to do 5, then you're going to do 7.5. Just like, no matter what, it's like, if you find 5 milligrams to be effective for you and you're getting everything,
stay on it.
Just stay there.
Yeah, that's because everyone fits in one box. Did you not know?
Mm-hmm.
When do you think? So we've talked about when it's a good idea. Mm-hmm. Not that we would ever advise anyone to go on it, but when it seems, when's it really bad not to go on it?
I would probably say pregnancy.
Yeah.
Any issues with brain, or not with brain health, I would say any issues with kidney health, just because some of the stuff that you've seen. And where else is it counter indicated?
I have a relative who's diabetic, and he's on metformin, and he's hugely overweight.
You can use those two drugs together.
Well, they won't prescribe it to him. And I was like, why? And he said it's because the metformin that he's on.
No, you can stack those, because there's different mechanisms. But like, that's obviously doctor.
Yeah.
Because that could be just a serious amount of polypharmacy with one guy.
Yeah.
So he's already on a bunch of drugs. Why are you going to chuck another drug in there?
Yeah.
But I guarantee they're going to find, and they're finding, so they're seeing it anecdotally, that it helps with neurodegeneration. So they're going to start using it for that for sure. Whether that's just because it regulates now, neurodegeneration.
Blood glucose.
Yeah. Neurodegeneration, or like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or all these things. You hear people say it's type 3 diabetes. That's a part of it.
Yeah.
Like, that's really important to recognize. People are like, oh, it's because of blood sugar that people get these. No, there's loads of reasons why people can get.
It's part of it.
It's part of the web of dysfunction, we'll say. But if you can regulate someone metabolically, they can get glucose to the brain more effectively, and things will improve.
Oh, defo use it for that.
Yeah, I guarantee they'll be using that for that in about 10 years.
Where do you think it's going to go for now, though? Like, because it's a fad, and not everyone's on it. I'm generalising, but like, it's the young population that bother me, as in like teenagers. I don't mean, people in their late teens, early 20s using it. Where do you think it's going to go?
I think the safety profile is going to get so good in the next 10 years that no one's going to be fat.
Really?
Yeah, I'm.
Wow.
I'm acting like I know the future.
No, you don't. You don't talk like that
I
at
don't.
All. Wow.
But the way they're stacking these mechanisms, and the more advanced they continue to get, I think we've cured the famine in most of the world, tragically not in some. And I think we're coming across a way to deal with the obesity side of things. So you think really it could cure
obesity?
It's already curing obesity for those who take it.
You've flipped my mind now. Because I'm just thinking of babies of the future, healthy kids. So, next question. There's loads on TikTok and reels and things about Mounjaro babies, PCOS Mounjaro babies.
I haven't seen any of it.
So women who have been diagnosed with PCOS have been on it and miraculously got pregnant within like however long they've been on it. It's like a fad, a thing, a trend on TikTok. What's your thoughts about that? Because we speak to women about preconception and stuff.
It'll help to correct PCOS.
Yeah.
Because PCOS is predominantly a blood sugar problem.
Yeah, blood sugar.
So if you can correct the blood sugar problem, generally you'll correct the PCOS problem, and then that allows you to have kids. If that's the main mechanism behind the problem.
Yeah, well, that's what they say.
And
they're calling them Mounjaro babies.
Yeah, but I have no idea what GLP-1 in massive amounts like that would do to
a fetus,
a baby.
Yeah,
no idea. And they'll probably do the research on that.
Well, they have to, don't they?
They don't have to do it in pregnant women.
No, but babies.
They'll have to figure out if something happens, if they're starting to notice things. But, like, you know...
I'm not saying that GPs are prescribing it for PCOS, but women who've been...
trying for X amount of time.
Yeah,
and then they go,
you know, it's social media, isn't it? Oh, why don't you try... Oh, I've been trying for a baby forever. I've got PCOS. Oh, why don't you try Mounjaro? So it's not licensed for that reason. I don't mean that. Don't bite my head off, people. But it is a big thing out in the preconception world. So yeah, I'm like, they can't. Pregnant people don't have to come forward and say like.
Pregnant people?
I can't believe I just said that. My husband will kill me. Women who are pregnant.
Did you ever see that? I'll go back. Did you ever see that? The two people talking. And the guy goes, the lady goes, pregnant people. And he goes, you mean women? He goes, no, men can be, it's not solely women. And this goes back and forth for ages.
I have seen it. Listen. Is it, what's his name? Piers Morgan?
It's not Piers Morgan. It's one of the right-leaning American...
I don't care what anyone says, and you can be whatever you want.
But
you have to have a womb and a vagina to have a baby.
Yeah, pregnant people.
No.
Pregnant people.
I can't remember what I was fucking talking about now.
Sorry. I heard that.
So the social media world out there is saying to women who are struggling, who have PCOS, why don't you try Mounjaro? So how can they research that? Because pregnant women who are having babies do not need to, like, they don't have to be put in a research profile. They can just say, no, thank you. What pregnant person would?
Yeah. Well, no, that's what they can't do the research on pregnant people.
So they all have to be done on babies.
The research to find out if like an excess of GLP-1 causes them any damage.
How are we ever going to know? That's another worry of mine.
Maybe
just because of my job, I think, because of my role.
But I would imagine having mothers giving birth who are 50 pounds overweight is probably more of a detriment to baby than a baby who comes out of a GLP-1 souped up mother.
GLP souped up like a fucking Porsche car.
Yeah. I don't know though. Like in that side of things, it's interesting.
But
I have no idea.
You will go away and look at stuff like that now because it interests you.
Women,
yes, you
women
will.
when pregnant.
No, but you love female physiology. Yeah. Weirdly,
it's ruined actual women for me.
Yeah. Oh nuts! Have you got anything else to say about the jabs of interest?
As this evolves, we're seeing like they're adding new mechanisms onto it or new mechanisms of action. So there's going to be a new one out. It'll probably take about 5 years where they're putting, I believe it's an IGF-1 agonist. So then people won't lose muscle while they use it. So they'll keep stacking these things on top of each other till these drugs become super duper drugs.
Is this a pharma thing or is this to help?
Well, the interesting side of things, it's a pharma thing because pharma can make a bunch of money out of it. Now, the food industry for once is not happy because obviously everyone always talks about the pharma industry, the food industry and how there are all these awful things. Like, I stay out of that stuff. I
live with it.
I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, but like in that, like I try to stay away from as much as I can. However, the food industry is angry with pharma for this because now the food industry is trying to make foods that will bypass the GLP-1 mechanism so that people can still overconsume it.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's going to be wild.
That's like going to war.
Yeah, that's going to be wild to see what they can come up with.
We've got a jab that will make us less obese, but then we're not giving our body the right nutrients. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think
you're not eating.
You can
so it suppresses your appetite. So you're not eating veg and meat and things that are good for you.
Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, so like you'll see, like I saw memes where people were talking about like, oh, I've been taking Mounjaro or whatever one it is for X amount of time, and now I've got sarcopenia or osteoporosis.
Yeah.
It's like, that's because you ate like a dick while you were on it.
Yeah.
So like if you drop caloric intake by 50% and you eat predominantly fat and carbohydrate,
yeah, you're fucked.
Bone mass will drop, muscle mass will drop, all the good stuff will drop, along with the body fat. Don't get me wrong, body fat will still drop, but you're losing. It was somewhere around 40% of the total weight lost came from muscle.
That's why I call it skinny fat.
Yeah, so that's why they talk about like Ozempic ass and Ozempic face,
yes,
and all that kind of stuff. Now, there's another mechanism which I don't really get into because it's kind of skeptical of whether this actually happens. Because we get exposed to so much heavy metals within our lifetime, we predominantly store those in fat, right? So like we don't want it floating in the bloodstream, so we kind of make it inert by just pushing it into a fat cell. So fuck it, like we'll deal with that later if we can't detoxify it at that time. With really dramatic fat loss, we do see dramatic increases in heavy metals in our blood. So like that's one of, no research, right, just theory, as to why people end up with these really weird like Ozempic asses or Ozempic faces, where people look like they dramatically age.
Yeah.
Is that
it's
just
like everything's melted.
Fuckload of oxidative stress that's occurring from the release of heavy metals all at the same time.
So no research, it's a theory.
No, we know that heavy metals come out when we lose a bunch of weight.
Okay.
And we don't know how much damage that actually does, or how much it overburdens our kidneys and livers while they try to detoxify heavy metals. Heavy metals or some of the persistent pollutants are really hard to get rid of. So like it's really much a burden to the liver and the kidney to try and detoxify these things. So like if we flood the system with them all at once as we liberate fat and heavy metals all at the same time, will that cause an issue long term? Maybe. I would probably still argue the point that being like overweight being obese is worse. But there's like people that I really trust in my industry that are coming up with protocols of how to detoxify heavy metals at the same time. And if people say, oh, your liver and your kidney are for detoxification, shut the fuck up. There's loads of ways you can help, you can aid detoxification. Yeah. It's like, don't get me wrong, the juice diets, pointless. Yeah. Anything that's just based around liquids to detoxify, pointless. But there is genuine methods you can use to improve carnivore, which, well, you need amino acids, but there's loads of other ways to detoxify your body. So before someone jumps in, because you always see that pops up in January, doesn't it? I have a liver and a kidney, and you've been smashing it for a month.
And now you're going to just live on liquids.
Now you're just going to stop, and it's just going to get better. It will until you're 50. But anyway.
And then it shows after that.
Yeah. So like there is possibility of something like that happening, of that being a real issue. But it's not to underestimate like the 1% that gets sick from this.
That's why that was my next question. Yeah. So you're for it, but it's
it's not foolproof.
No,
it's not yet.
Nothing is it? Really?
Oh, in 10 years, man, I am fascinated to see what this looks like in 10 years.
Wow.
Like how cool some of these drugs are going to be. Bad for my industry.
Yeah.
But like we'll just have to pivot to help people use them correctly.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, genuinely. Exactly. Is that why you're interested in it? Or you're just interested in it in general?
I kind of stayed out of it for a while, but then I did get interested in it because it is really interesting and cool.
Well, it's not going away, is it?
No, this is here now. So you can talk about like the one person who died. There was a tragedy.
It doesn't matter.
Nurse died from kidney disease or from kidney failure because she started using the drug. How, I'm not sure because I can't figure that one out. But when you see all the good it does to people, how it helps with depression, how it helps with alcoholism, how it helps with cigarette smoking, because it regulates dopamine in the brain really well. So like the desire for all the stuff that we desire like addictively, whether that's fat and sugar, whether it's cocaine, whether it's
your phone,
whether it's all those things, it seems to down-regulate that for a lot of people as well.
Because of blood sugar regulation?
No, GLP-1 crosses the blood-brain barrier. So it does do something really mechanistically in the brain they don't know about yet.
Who the fuck come up with this shit?
The GLP-1 thing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't come up with it earlier because we knew it suppressed appetite.
Yeah.
So why didn't... Now, GLP-1, as in terms of us discovering it, isn't that old, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
But also, like, the original drugs just made people so sick, like puking sick, that it probably just wasn't worth it until they found ways to mitigate some of those side effects. Now, don't get me wrong, I've heard of people literally like dehydrating themselves.
My friend,
just because they've shat themselves so much.
Yeah, literally, or like, shitting through an IV needle all day, and I'm like, clearly that's not.
That's Ozempic, though.
Yeah, it was
so,
Ozempic,
like tirzepatide's getting better, retatrutide's getting better. One side effect I forgot to mention, which I've seen with some of my clients, no research on it, is apathy, which is weird. So, like, just not caring about anything.
What?
That came with the drug, yeah. That's happened to me with 3 people, genuinely.
I'd take it for that if I didn't give a shit. No, I wouldn't. Sorry, I'm dumbing it down.
But, like one of them was just like, I just don't get pleasure from anything anymore.
Who wants to? No one wants to feel like that.
No, I get that. That's obviously in certain circumstances.
Do you think they'll research that more? What the fuck can you do about that anyway?
Don't know.
Just take a pill that makes you happy while you're on it. Oh, that's another podcast. Sorry, what's the time?
2 minutes past 2.
Okay, 5 quick questions, and you don't know what I'm going to ask you. First one, who's your person?
You. Carry on.
Oh, I love it. No one has said that yet. Yes. Don't tell your wife. No. Number 1, what do you hate most about yourself? That was number 2, sorry.
My feet. If you saw them, you'd understand.
You're so fucking random. Number 3, what do you love most about yourself?
My height.
Yeah.
But you can't train height.
Not your accent.
I like that as well, but I trade my accent before I trade my height.
Well, you rather speak like that and be tall.
Well, I trade for an actual accent. Like, would I change it for like a Valley's accent? I don't know. But yeah, no, I'd probably keep my height. Yeah.
Number 4, what's the biggest thing that's happened to you over the last year?
Moved house.
Yeah, I was like, do you want me to answer it for
Moved
you?
house,
Was that stressful?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't. You weren't even there.
Not for the actual day of it.
You planned that well.
Yeah, planned that.
But yeah, selling the house and everything. And last one, what's next for Greg?
So most of the new work that I'm doing now is predominantly based around genetics with people. So with the job that I have, I've had a really cool opportunity where they've ran out like a genetic profile to almost all the clients and anyone else who wants it. So that's a lot of the work I'm doing at the moment is based around genetics.
What, just in general?
Not genetics based around health and lifestyle. So like not like where you're from or where your ancestors are from, not like that. So it's like what's your inflammatory markers, what's your heart health like based off genetics.
So blood work.
No, it's a mouth swab, where it'll give you your genetic profile. It's important to note, like, it doesn't predispose you to anything. So, like,
no, it just gives you
having it by itself, I don't really like. So when people are like, "Oh, can you read my genetics?" If I have no context on them, I'm like, like it's okay, but I think in combination with real life data is wicked. It's really cool
because
information you can get from it.
If you just have it by yourself, what are you doing it for? What are you going to do with that information?
Very hard if you don't know how to read it.
I wouldn't have a clue where to start. What's the most fascinating thing you've found out since doing it about it?
I'm 12 to 15 times more likely to get dementia than the next person.
Can you find that out?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I'd want to know.
ApoE44. Yeah, you can. No, I think it's important to know because the genes that we use, everything is influenceable.
Yeah.
That's a word, isn't it?
Yeah,
very good. Yeah, so everything can be influenced. So, like, there's no, like, we wouldn't test as the BRCA gene for we wouldn't check for that. That, like, because, like, what, someone comes to me, I'm like, go see your doctor.
I know.
thanks for the money.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So it just gives you a percentage, because it's rife in my family and Nathan's.
No, it depends on that. So, like, there's variations of that gene. Depends what variation you have.
And can it be reduced by food and supplements?
The gene can never be changed.
No, but can you reduce your chances?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm on it. Fab. And anyone can come to you for that?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm sure Kimberly, the woman who messages me all the time, will be at. Cool. Fab. Thank you for coming on again.
No problem.
Speak again later.
Bye-bye.